Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth. Flipper, welcome. We're headed to the Commonwealth cabin. I see my daughter up there. Sparky's up the tree. Oh my goodness, he's getting farther out there. That's a dumb cat. Any rate, I'll tell you what, boy, today I felt like a failure for the first time in quite a long time. I want to talk about that today, and unfortunately I can't say, hey, we have a lot of awesome sales today. We don't have that many. There are some cool ones though. Let's go take a look. So I'm upstairs talking to my wife yesterday. I'm like, eBay sales are down. And I think at the time we had 2 sales. And I'm like, I gotta film a video tomorrow. What kind of video is this gonna be? I thought to myself, well, I guess I can talk about, what I do when things aren't going well or something. And then I'm like, something's gonna sell. She's like, I've been listing. And I was like, I've been listing too. And we've been putting up stuff. Now I will say this stuff isn't amazing stuff, high sell-through rate, real high ASP, but you gotta get through everything at some point. So I'm just sitting there and I'm like, well, at nighttime we still had 2 sales. I'm like, well, maybe something will sell overnight. We'll do okay. I think we had a few more in there. And I get up in the morning and 1 more item sells. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I start to feel like, how can I be this guy on YouTube telling people what to do? And I try not to tell people what to do. I just share my own experience and then have you guys give me feedback. And I'm like, well, let me tell you. I get these messages all the time. I haven't sold anything in this, or I haven't done this, or whatever. And I'm like, what would I tell them? Or what would I tell my baseball team if things weren't going right? And I started to preach to myself a little bit. So we'll talk about that process. There are going to be more than 2 sales. Thank goodness. And some of them were things that I did this morning. Fix things. Some things, put new items up. Spend time out there digging through, finding some good ASP stuff. Finding some good high sell-through rate to sprinkle into the kind of low sell-through rate stuff we've been listing lately as we dredge through the whole entire stack of stuff out there. So I'm going to talk about those things, and there are a few cool sales in here. Plus, I've got some other topics to throw in as well. Let's go take a look. So we did have a day where we had 2 sales. We had $57 in sales. That is all we had in one day, and it was not a good day. These sold Savage Dragon Possessed, and this whole, I don't even really know what these are. Image isn't great, but it's a nice little set. Sold for $14.20 plus shipping. And one of these 2 sales, my wife was so excited about. I'm like, why are you excited about that? It didn't even sell for much. She's like, those used to be Reagan's. I gotta turn this light on. There we go. And so she had listed these boots a long time ago because they went on 30% off. And my last 30% off sale were only items that had been in the store over 300 days, which, by the way, I looked at a number and it's a little telling. But let's pull these first. These are Reagan's old snow boots. And like I said, she listed them forever ago, and they've been taking up space forever. These, I probably wouldn't list these, but she wants to, she's like, well, I'm going to donate them or I'm going to make some money off of them. I might as well make some money. I'm like, okay. And they sold forever later, 30% off, $10.50 plus shipping. So when I have folks send me messages and, hey, my store's struggling, it's doing whatever, and mine might be doing great at the time, or mine might be struggling at the time. I get messages from people when mine is going awesome, theirs is terrible, and when mine is terrible, theirs is awesome. And I have heard quite a bit lately about sales being fairly slow here in January too. But who knows? It doesn't matter to me, and I preach this all the time, so I got to preach it to myself. I woke up and 1 more item had sold. I'm like, ugh, man, well, I'm filming a video because this is the video filming day, and I'm going to talk about selling nothing. And if I look stupid because I don't know what I'm doing, then fine, that's what it's going to be. But that's the experience most eBay resellers go through. It's not always peaches and cream. You have these ups and downs and dips. A lot of time I find it really does come with the merchandise that you are currently accumulating, currently listing. And we had made the choice for a couple of weeks now to get through stuff that's not just desirable stuff to list. And we had the store shut down in early January, Christmas through early January. And so it's taken a little bit of while to ramp that thing back up. So I decided we're going to make a plan, just like I would tell my old baseball team, hey, when something goes wrong, what do you do? Are you going to complain, sulk, you're going to point fingers, or are you going to get to work? And so we get back to the basics and we do certain things to get us, reset. And that's what I was going to do in my eBay business. The first thing I was going to start with was picking out 10 old listings and figuring out why they're not selling. Look at current comps, you know, go on there and mess with that stuff, tweak them, reset them, restart them, retitle them, whatever it is. And then I'm going to list, and I looked through all my draft and I found the things in those drafts that are decent sell-through rate that I thought would sell fairly quickly, and I would get those listed. My wife was listing as well. One of those that she listed sold, which, well, I got a story about that, and I'll tell you in a minute. And then I was going to be productive out here. And then I was going to be productive in that shed and find some better items to list and get them up. And that's what I spent today doing. I even changed my light right there. I love those lights. That light's been in here almost since we started filming Commonwealth Flipper, which has been quite a while. And one of the bulbs finally went out, so I replaced it. You got to get those. Those things are amazing. They put off great light. Including talking to somebody about helping me redo this room, getting my... What am I doing? I didn't even list that. That's personal. This is what sold. Here's one of those examples of getting a sale because you're getting on there and tweaking something and relisting something. And this is a sweet little Virginia Tech Christmas ornament. It's not exactly the right time to sell it, but it was cool, and I redid it, reposted it. So for... a little under $10 to $9.86 plus shipping. There's a send offer on that. That's the other thing I did. Every single time there's a chance to send an offer, I send offers out. Just try to give mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to this eBay store, because it had struggled for a week coming into that day. That was really bad and really got me kind of thinking, am I doing something wrong here? All right, I went inside to get some books and I pulled in a stray cat. You're not climbing trees like that other dumb cat, are you? For one moment there, my daughter was outselling me. There was 3 merch sales, and she got those out here and she shipped them this morning. I'm like, well, you might ship more than me today, but she's not. We've done quite a bit here, and the sales are slowly coming in. Not an amazing day. This is a cool little set. Picked it up. It was basically pennies. We did a little buyout. And they're not amazing, you know. I wouldn't pay $1 a piece for these, for instance. These are the old Time Life, Old West books. They're really cool. I love this stuff. I'm an AP World History guy. I'm not an American history guy, but that's still part of the story, right? And these, so I think they sold for $30. Yeah, $29.95 for those, plus shipping. And I have passed those up hundreds of times just because, you know, $1 a piece or whatever. It's just not worth it. But when you're sitting there and it's basically going to be the same price if you put these in your truck or not, then it's a definite yes for me. And so I started listing a little bit more today. I had always put in 3, 4, 5 listings in the morning, and then we've been getting busy, and my wife comes in and picks up the slack. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to sit down for an hour straight and list. And we listed a bunch, and some of that stuff you'll see in a second because it already sold. One of the things she listed sold. It was a little bit too cheap, but she's a great lister. My wife does a really good job. Not as good as me, of course. But don't tell her I said that. But she's pretty good at this. And every once in a while, she'll make a mistake, meaning I think she screwed up. But when I make mistakes, they're not mistakes because they're mine, right? So she would never yell at me, but I'd be like, actually, I'd never say anything to her. She gets scary when you complain. All right, I had to go out to the other shed because these got pictured, listed, and sold that quick. So putting in a little bit of work gets it done, even though they're too cheap. All right, so the 90s Hasbro wrestling figures, which is a little bit, it's not really past my era, but it's getting there. You know, that's my era, of course, and that's my era. See if I can show you these without making too much noise. We lotted these up. Now, if I were to have listed these, I probably still would have done a lot, but I would have charged more. And there's little things, you know, when you don't know, right? My wife buys stuff all the time. I'm like, I wouldn't have picked that up. She knows a bunch of stuff about stuff I don't know about. But I know wrestling, so that's the big boss man there, which doesn't go for a ton, but it has its billy club right there. It's got the stick, and that makes it worth quite a bit more. So this one right here, plus that variant of the Ultimate Warriors, maybe 15 bucks or so, I think. So we could have gotten what I got for all of those just out of those two. And then I think that's Texas Tornado, and I don't know who, Mr. Perfect, I don't know who that is. But this lot sold for 40. I think we undersold it by 20 bucks plus shipping. But on the upside, you know, I'm always telling my wife, I'm like, you're listing stuff too expensive. I want to keep that sell-through rate up. She wants to get that top dollar. And so she probably did that because I always say that to her, right? But we got a sale, and we got a sale when we didn't really have many sales. So, you know, my personal strategy is not to list stuff cheap so you can sell stuff. But it worked out in that case because we really did need some sales. It had been slow, and we got a few more. So at the end of the day, I haven't checked it since I started filming, but we were up to 10 sales at least. All right, I had to go out to the other shed again. This was something we did this morning. So that's cool. 2 of those got in here. London 2021 Mario and Sonic Wii. Here's a little trick, and my wife listed this one as well. I can't even get it open. When they're complete, put complete in the title. And one thing we do is we take the disc out and the little pamphlet out. And we take the picture with the disc and the pamphlet. Just makes it have this bigger look, this fuller, complete look. People want to see that they're buying everything that they want. Tends to help it so quick, and that one did, boy. $19.99 plus shipping. I'll tell you one thing that I didn't do. I didn't start searching on the internet and, you know, what's wrong with eBay, or are your eBay sales down, or there's something wrong with the algorithm, or there's, you know, some kind of glitch, or there's some, and there, all that stuff might be true, but there's nothing that I can do about it. All I can do is control myself and be productive, and that's what I decided I was going to start doing. And I've been working quite a bit on the live selling stuff as well lately, and that's been absolutely crushing it for us. So I knew that if I got in here and started working on this part of the business, then I would be free later in the day once I got a bunch of new listings up and stuff and got this stuff shipped to ship out all that other stuff that's in that eBay cave right now, because that part of the business has been going well lately. So, you know, you got to give attention to the things that are making you money, but at the same time, this is what I love. I don't love doing that, and I don't love packaging up, you know, 60 things that just sold for, you know, $4 a piece or whatever. It's making me money. You got to do what you got to do, and I enjoy it, but this is what I really love. So this gets me down. When eBay sales are down, I get down, and I got to talk myself out of it and be disciplined and do things that I don't want to do in order to be able to do things that I do want to do in here. So anyway, I am not a train guy. I passed up train stuff for years because I knew nothing about it. But when I come across something that's super cheap, looks good, I'll buy it. And we came across a great one this last year. We had a whole tub full of trains we bought for $1 a piece. And they're all gone except for this one now, because this one right here sold NYS&W Susquehanna. I don't know much about it, but when you get these little things, they're easy to look up. A lot of times they'll have a little QR code on them too, but this one sold for $19.95 plus shipping, into it for $1. You know, speaking of eBay and the moves they've been making lately, I saw something the other day. I was watching an NFL playoff game, and all of a sudden in eBay, this is on a network channel. This isn't on a streaming channel. An eBay commercial comes popping up. I'm like, whew, that must have cost a bunch. So I've been calling for eBay to do this for a long time. I'm glad they are. I hope they're not, you know, spending so much capital in the wrong places. I hope they're being strategic about stuff. But I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the Facebook move as well. We'll see. Time will tell on that. But I think it's a good move going forward in the future. Despite what a lot of folks have had to say, I think it's a very positive move. And maybe you could make the argument that it's a reaction to slower than expected sales. So they're doing things that they've never had to do before. Either way, I'm excited about it because they're pushing their marketplace again in ways they haven't in a long time. So I'm excited about that. I'm still very bullish on reselling. And when the work gets done on slightly better items than I've been listing a lot of Tupperware lately, for goodness sake. That's slow sell-through rate. I've been listing a lot of t-shirts and vintage clothes. That's slow sell-through rate. So part of the blame lies right here on me. We made that conscious decision, but boy, you got to sprinkle in. You got to really be aware of making sure you're putting in good sell-through rate items as well that are desirable for good prices, so you don't psychologically have those issues. And I used to be really good at that. I would always list every day. I would list a certain amount. I never really stuck to a certain amount. There are days I list 30 things. There are days I list 1. And it just depends. But my early days of reselling, when it would come to listing time, I would always list something that I did not want to list. I would always list a large item, and then I would list whatever I wanted to list. It's just a little bit of discipline. Like I said, though, we have been listing a lot of hats lately. Not the highest ASP on them, but we have been selling quite a few. Here's another one that's sold. I need to readjust these bins here somehow. Not quite sure how. There's not much in this. This is my golf club head bin, but we're about ready to do our club head buyout from that golf course down there too, so maybe I won't. Dale Earnhardt, Newton, North Carolina. This hat sold for $19.95. It's just a vintage Dale hat. Some are better than others. Made in the USA. Cool looking hat. For sure. $19.95 plus shipping.
What's that last name?
Mamazon? Which one?
No.
Doug.
No.
All right, the treat hounds are out here, and Reagan outsold me up until a little while ago. So she sold 3 things out of CommonwealthPicker.com and another merch item over there on Shop Commons. Look at this dog. You're ridiculous. All right, and she's already been out here and shipped them all, y'all. So she's working.
Somewhere.
What you got?
Dustin got a trash cash sticker, and he got a We Get Things. Oh no, that was a tumbler. Sorry.
Yep, trash cash tumbler.
And
that's
we
right.
got a We Get Things moving sticker, and Doug got a CWP sticker.
Yeah, thank you. And Mamazon bought a ShopCommons.net bag over on ShopCommons.net. And I haven't taught Reagan how to ship those yet, so I'll have to do that. Thank you, Reagan.
Bye, and don't forget to get your stickers at CommonwealthPicker.com.
I don't want to forget to give away some My Go-To tape. Thank y'all. MyGoToTape.com. So many folks have been buying over there, so I'm excited because we're out of codes to give away other than the people we've already done, and we got to announce the winners. And I'm hoping that so many folks have bought over there that I can call up Joel and say, hey, you know, in a month or so, could we do that all again and give away a ton more tape? I know there's a lot of people that haven't won, so we'll see if he can do it. Pipe Dreamer 1986 is the winner of the My Go-To tape. 2-inch tape. Send me an email, commonwealthpicker@gmail.com. I'll send you the link. I'll send you the code. You get your tape absolutely free shipping. So don't forget to use code Commonwealth. You get 5% off. Earnhardt, Dale Earnhardt Black Magic Vintage Single Stitch. And they're not always great, but sometimes you find some really cool ones. This was his, it obviously needs cleaning, but it's 1990 Sports Image Single Stitch. Cool one. I've never seen it before. And this one sold for 40 bucks. So that's a pretty nice little sale. All right, Turner's here with me. We packaged up all this stuff right here, and then I took Turner to practice. Now the dogs are here. So I'm going to make you do something different today, bud, since he took your seat. Could you go back there and find me a Care Bear with a heart on its belly? You think you can find that? And you keep looking until you find one with a heart on its belly while I show him this. This is crazy, y'all. Turner did good at practice today, by the way. Somebody opened a return on this right here. I have not looked at the pictures to make sure they sent me the right thing back. They didn't complain about anything, didn't say anything in the return. They just, here's their count. And of course, I do returns. And it came back like this. Did you find it? Oh, that is kind of a heart, but that's not a bear. It's a raccoon. Oh. All right, it's a Care Bear cousin. So I gotta figure out if it's the same one. But look at how they shipped it, y'all. Look at this. This is how it got here. No padding, no nothing. And this is not the box I shipped it in, by the way. I don't think. At any rate, crazy. I can't believe this thing didn't come out of here. I did not return them the shipping cost, the original shipping cost, and they never complained. Hey, there it is. I think that's the right one. I thought Tender Bear had 1 heart. All right, you found 2, and it's still the wrong one. Tender Bear has 1 heart. Man, I think, there you go. I think that's it. Nope, that's not it. Must be above it.
Oh, right.
There you go, right there. That's Tender Bear. Can you believe I used to have those silly Care Bears in my bed when I was a kid? I don't know why, but at any rate, that is Tender Bear Turner, 1983. I was 6 with that one. That one sold for $15 plus shipping. All right, buddy. No joke today, but you can say goodbye.
Bye.
So I do see, since we left for practice, one more sale at least. So we got it up to, what is there going to be, like 11 on this video when we were sitting at 2. So, you know, we put in some work, and fortunately we got some sales out of it. I don't know, we probably would have got a couple sales anyways. I got to get in that bin right there. All right, this is a little candelabra, I guess. 5 of them. It's Godinger. So silver plate doesn't do well, but Godinger silver plate sometimes can do okay. Good enough to pick it up if the price is right. And for this one it was, and we sold it for $28.45. I just noticed that this is a repeat buyer, Shane. So I appreciate you. I am assuming you're a viewer, so thank you for that. And picking up this stuff is, you know, you got to dig through it and whatever, but when you see the Godinger on the bottom, it's possibly worth it. Look them up sometimes. Not huge sell-through rate, though. So we had 2 viewer sales, so 2 out of 11. So we really do appreciate that. You really helped us get a slightly better day, you know, with the return, and then it's like, huh. Geez, has not been amazing, but we're picking up steam here. Hopefully it continues on for the next few days. Hey, I've got one more to pick here, But let me know your strategies when things are going wrong, when things are going bad. What is it that snaps you out of it? What do you do with your time? Because you do have more time. I'm going to spend a half an hour less time shipping today, so I certainly can do more listing or some organizing or something productive. So tell me what you think down below. Also, tell me if you've seen more eBay commercials this year than you have in the last 10 years, like I have. One of the things I did today is I ended the old sale, and I started a new sale with a date that ends it sooner. That, I know that seems silly, but for me, it seems like the last days of a sale are the best days of a sale, especially because I don't run them all the time. I'll run it for 2 weeks, and then I'll stop it for a week, and then I'll start it again. But I added more into it. The last sale I ran was 300 days. If it's been in the store 300 days or more, which, by the way, is 25% of our store has been in the store for more than 300 days. That's way too high for a lot of folks. I get that. For me, it's not, as long as we have the space and we have so many multi-quantity items that those are going to be in the store for years. So that was interesting. So I jumped it to 250 days. And so we added more things to it, and this thing sold because of it. All right, I had to dig deep in that one because this has been around a long time. I remember buying this person. I remember paying $10 for it. It's Michael Kors, I guess, zebra type print. And I thought to myself, yeah, I can probably get 50 for it. And I listed it for 50, but we could not get it. And it went on that 30% off sale today, and it got 35. So we're still making money, and we got a sale, and we're starting to sell again, 35 plus shipping. So speaking of that return right there, I looked at my return rate today. It's under 2%. Which is pretty good. Before Q4 started, we had it very close to 1% return rate. And it's at 1.66 right now. We had a little rash of returns during end of Q4. And at the beginning of January too. So January, the month of returns, right? But we've done okay with it. I'm pretty happy. If it stays under 2%, I'm usually pretty happy. Let me know how your return rate is going. Go check it out. Maybe if you're willing to drop it down below, or maybe categorize it by electronics is always high, of course, for me. And I think that's probably the category that thing is in. So who knows what that is. But 1.66% overall isn't that bad. I'm happy with that. And with these few slow days here, I'm looking at this calendar, dreading going over what I need to do. If you didn't see the last few videos, my goal is $250,000 in sales this year. And we're not even halfway to where we need to be if you took it month by month. And January, of course, isn't going to be as good as, say, November or whatever. But we have really got to ramp this up to get that goal. And I'm going to put those numbers down every month and hopefully get there. So we will see. Sales have been going pretty good on Dibdit.com live sales for us, and we just took 10 days off at the beginning of the month, so we're not going to get there with that either. But if we wouldn't have done that, we'd have got there, and common sales are rolling along as well. Speaking of, go check those out, y'all. We're going to be doing some giveaways over there. We already did a big one, I think yesterday, depending on when this video comes out. We gave away a Nintendo Switch, but we're having so much success over there. I'm committed to taking any money that comes my way out of there and dumping it back in and supporting the sellers, and it's been fun. And not just giveaways, but I've been auctioning off stuff of pretty good value over there where somebody can buy it and flip it. We got some Hero Quest stuff, some Yu-Gi-Oh stuff's going to go over there live. We're going to do lots of auctions over there on Dibdit.com as well. So if you're interested in looking at those, there's a lot smaller marketplace over there, so they won't go as high, I think, as other places, but we want to entice some folks to come and join us, and good deals are always a good way to do that. So I'm excited about that, and I'll tell you what, eBay sales need to pick up for me. There's no doubt about it. Let me know if you're in the same boat down below, and I hope they will. Yesterday was slow. The day before was slow. Today started off just atrociously, and then it picked up. But the mindset has got to stay the same, and I'm pretty happy with where we're headed. We've got a ton in drafts today because of what I did out there, and I'm happy about that. So thank y'all for joining us as always, and I can't wait to see you next time.
Well, if I'm in Virginia just to go and run the trails, found myself missing you more times than I can count. Rolling on just like a stone, nobody could tell me where the boundaries in my life stop and I could be free. Nobody could tell me